time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time.
Hello and welcome, and thank you very much for joining me in the studio today. As you can see, I'm painting a flip-flop. I've just returned from a holiday in Mallorca, and yeah, it was wonderful there. And I thought, well, I wanted to paint some sort of a seascape, so I could reminisce on my holiday. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I painted a pair of flip-flops, maybe on the beach. Now I've done something similar to this before, which I will put in the iCards. If you want to know what the iCards are, they're in the top corner. So if you hover your mouse over or your finger over, there should be a little circle with an eye in it that'll pop up. Click on that, and then there's about 4 or 5 videos that will drop down there. So I've been asked about that actually. So there we go. So I'm going to put my little flip-flop there, so I can look at it. So I put my flip-flop there so I can look at it. I've got some photographs of my holiday, which I'll show you as I go along. But that's basically it. So this is just a piece of cardboard. In fact, have I got a piece here? Yeah, it is. Here I got a piece of cardboard here. I bought a lot of this cardboard. There we go. So it's just cardboard. There you go. It's just a piece of cardboard. And I quite like painting on this sometimes, because canvases can be expensive. So the cardboard is reasonably cheap. So I'll need to put an horizon in. So let's have a look. Where should we put the horizon? We'll put the horizon about 7 inches down from the top. It's a little line there. And we'll put a little line there. And we'll put a little line there. You be a little bit more accurate than me. Because as you know, I try to keep my videos to about an hour-ish or sorts. So that was a little bit higher there. It doesn't matter. There we are. There's my little horizon line. Now that's straight enough. That'll do. I'm happy. Or if you want to make one of these things, it's basically just you can use a piece of wood or a bit of plastic in this case, and you can put a piece of wood on the end there, 4 screws. Make sure that's perfectly square, and then you could use that then as well. Put a line across, and then you could go back around that way, and you can just finish your line off that way. And you know that's straight there. As long as this is straight, you're fine. So that's it. That's all we need to do. Now let's have a look at the palette. So I got a few different colours here today. I'm going to be using some purples and whatnots. I've already pre-mixed some of them up using a couple of different reds. So I'll go into the reds first. I've got a vermilion red, and I've also got a cadmium red. So vermilion and cadmium. There you go. I've got a bit of ultramarine blue because I quite like that warmth of blue. And I've got some cadmium yellow or mid yellow. So I've made a couple of different purples up from the vermilion and the cadmium red with the ultramarine blue. And they've given me these colours there. I've added a little bit of white to that one. So I made some purples up. If you haven't got any purples, or you don't want to make purples, then just, if you've got purples, use any purple. That's what I'm trying to say. Titanium white. I got some Mars black. Some burnt umber because I maybe want to darken some colours rather than using black. I've got some of my medium mix there. I've got some flow improver there. I've also got a fine mist bottle there. There we go. These are all available at www.clive5art.co.uk. Pop along to the shop. Using some bristle brushes today. I don't know why. Just thought it might be a good idea. So I'm going to use some of my bristle brushes today. I'm just going to let a couple of them just soak for a couple of seconds in some water because I want those bristles to absorb a little bit of moisture before I start to paint. And that's it. What other brushes am I going to use? I don't know. I'm just going to wing it, as they say. So Mallorca was a wonderful, fantastic place, and yeah, it was quite lovely there. I went to Mallorca about 17 odd years ago. That was one of my first holidays I had with my wife Jane, and we revisited Mallorca this year. I'm just adding a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow together there like that. I want it reasonably thin. There we go. I want it to flow a bit because I'm going to put some sky in like this. So we revisited it because it was our 25th wedding anniversary this year. So I thought it would be nice if we went back there. There we go. So I'm just going to put some yellow into the sky, because there was some wonderful sunsets. We experienced some wonderful sunsets in Mallorca. We really did. So I'm putting a bit of light in there. Now this is going to dry very, very quickly onto this board because it's been gessoed, but it's very, very absorbent. And canvas tends to be a little bit more forgiving. There we go. But I quite like painting like this. So adding a little bit more white into this sky. I want a bit of glow around this area because I want to put a bit of a sun in there. And this could be a sunset, sunrise, whatever you want it to be. Don't worry about it, just put some paint in like that. There you go. I'm going to go over there now. I'm just add a little bit of vermilion just to the one side. Just a small amount of a vermilion. If you're going to do vermilion, just use any red you got. I just like vermilion. So just warm that up a little bit there like that. Just a little bit of warmth, maybe a little bit more warmth into that sky. We don't want to go too much. We don't want to go too quick. We want a bit of warmth. Just flying around there like that. Just floating around in that sky. I'm hoping just to get away with one layer today. This is my first painting back from my holidays, so I'm a little bit out of practice, and that's okay. What I'm going to do now is just put in some maybe cloudy shapes. So I need to make that just a little bit lighter, don't I? There we go. I did just a little bit of white, just flatten that down there like that. Make it look as if it's maybe just a cloud-filled sky. There we go. God, I could be lying on that beach now quite nicely. I would be lying on our beach now with a nice sangria in the sea. Yes. I didn't actually go into the sea this year to swim because when we went to the beach the first night we were there, I always go down and see if I can have a look at the sea on that. Because we were quite lucky, we were right by the sea, so that was cool. Well, it wasn't so cool, it was nice and warm actually. But let's just put a little bit of that colour down there, because I've been talking too much again. Let's just put a little bit of that down there like that. Right, let's get these brushes out there because we don't want them to soak in there too long. And then just wash my brush. There we are. I'm going to get some of this yellow just down in there like that. Should have done this first because I was talking so much. It doesn't matter. And I know this is drying so quick. You can see the way it's drying very, very quickly onto this card I got. There we are. Let's just get a bit of light down in there now. Let's flick it in like this. Have a bit of fun. Enjoy yourself. So we went down to the beach area, and because I took my GoPro with me, and what I wanted to do is take some underwater shots, because I had plans on doing painting some fish and things, but my wife Jane said, "Look at that." She said there was a sign right on the side there. There was a sign saying, "Be very careful because there was jellyfish in there," and these jellyfish didn't look very nice at all. In fact, they were blue and they look very similar to the painting I did a while ago. If you have a look in the iCards there, I painted a blue jellyfish and they look very similar to that. And it was, I thought to myself, I don't fancy getting in that water and getting stung. I certainly didn't. So I'm going to get a little bit of this purple that I made. Look at that. That lovely colour. Lovely colour. Adding some white to it. You can see I got it quite thin. And a little bit of cadmium red. Getting that reddy, purpley type of colour. Add a little bit more purple to it. I get the colour I want. I know the colour of the sky. Let's have a look at that. We want a bit lighter than that. So I thought I didn't fancy getting stung in that water, so I never actually ventured into it. Went into the swimming pool a couple of times, which was quite nice. Let's get a bit lighter. That's better. That looks better. Just using one brush for now. It was wonderful. The sky was just, it was just lovely. It was just amazing to look at. I didn't think you could get these type of colours in a sky, but it was just a little bit of ultramarine blue. It was just amazing to actually witness this sky. And the moon was, in the night, was fantastic. Every night you'd have this type of sunset. And then you get the moon to come up, and it was so nice. It really was. I don't know what Molly's found. She's found something out there to bark at. We booked the holiday actually on one of these like late minute type of bookings. So we knew where we were going, like Mallorca, but what we didn't know was what the hotel was going to be like, and we did book into an all-inclusive hotel. That meant that all the food and drink were free, basically. But not free, you do pay for it, but you know what I mean. And we were quite surprised when we actually got there, because it was like a proper relaxation meditation type of place. There was like Turkish baths, and there was jacuzzi. The pool was there. It was adults only. It was a fantastic gym there. And those that have been following me on my Healthy Living website, YouTube channel, which is again in the iCards and in the descriptions if you want to follow along there and look at my Healthy Living, then please do that. Always looking for subscribers in there. And yeah, it was more than I could actually ask for. In fact, it was more than I could actually ask for. It was absolutely fantastic, and I'm so happy that we went there, and it was a fantastic time there. And a wonderful country to visit. So we got another trip coming up in November. We're going to be going over to another Spanish island, which is called Tenerife. So I'm looking forward to that one. And that's later in the year. Okay, so wash my brush again very quickly. Looking at that sky, it looks quite nice. I'm going to get a bit more yellow and that into this in a second. But for the moment, I want a little bit more blue. down here. As I said, this was quite a nice sky. The only regret I got is that I didn't take my paints with me, because I could have painted this then, or a little sample of it. But when you're relying on photographs, you've actually got a flat thing to go by. So nice, I like that. I'm going to continue with this brush, I think. In fact, I think I'm just going to wash that brush out very quickly. There we go. And I'm just going to pick up a small brush, and I think I'll just go for this little filbert. I got a little number 10 filbert. Hoping that's dry enough, because I want to go back into some of this yellow now. And rub in some of this. Now the paper, what the paper is doing is giving me a really nice rough texture to work to. And I quite like this paper. In fact, I'm going to get a little bit of red, and I'm just going to get a little bit of this into the sky like this. Just gets that little warmth in the sky. All those wonderful merging colours that just appear in nature. It's absolutely amazing sometimes, the colours that you see in the skies, and what nature can actually throw to you, because you think to yourself sometimes, there's no way a sky could look like that. But nature's a wonderful thing. It really is. So I was sitting there, and I was relaxing, and I had a wonderful holiday, eating plenty of food, and I don't drink much. I don't drink much alcohol. I'm not that type of person. I like a drink, don't get me wrong. I like the odd glass of wine and stuff like that, but I actually found gin. I'm a gin person now. I actually found some gin. It was lovely. Really did enjoy some of the gin that I drank. And I did suffer one night quite badly with a hangover, or the following day I should say, more than the night, because I was enjoying myself on the night. There we go. Okay, so I want to stop talking now. Wash me brush. I'm going to get one of these bristle brushes. Now I want to get into some yellow here, like this. Get a little bit of white. It's hard to say where the actual horizon starts and that, but we'll have to put some sort of definition into this now. What I'm going to paint, as far as that's concerned, wasn't there. So I put some. I might put some landmass in there. That wasn't there, but I think for the sake of the painting, I think I should. So don't be afraid to adjust things sometimes. I'm just getting a bit of highlight in like that. There we go. Ooh, looks nice. Let's get some of this purple that I made. This is quite a thick mixture. I don't know why it's gone thick, but they have. Let's go around my flip-flops that I painted. I'm going to get some of this paint. I'll add a bit of burnt umber to it. I want it quite dark. Maybe a little bit of black. Come on, paint. It was awful thick. Why is that gone? I don't know why that's gone thick actually. It doesn't matter. A touch of white. That's better. Let's get back into some of this. Mixing a bit of red into it. Just loosely applying, like that. Right, let's get a little bit of this other purple. I'm going to add a little bit of white to it, because I want to add a bit of vermilion. I want a redder type of purpley colour to go in. I don't want it too dark though. Yeah, maybe we want to darken that up a touch there right now. Not so much painting. I don't want it too smooth. I'm trying to let's get that. I'm trying to get a Pacific effect in my mind. Because this is the beach area. But we need to bring some of that light back down into here in a second. Wash my brush. I'm going to have to dry this off, I think, in a second. I had some of this, didn't I, over there? Mix some of that to it. Just getting some vertical lines. And then just brushing across horizontally like that. Always works. Pulling a few vertical lines in, and then very lightly going across like that. And just have fun, just enjoy it. You know, painting is about relaxation and fun, and if you're not relaxing, then you're not going to have fun, and if you're not having fun, then what's the point in painting? That's what I think anyway. And this is a nice multicoloured summer type of painting that I like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry that off with a hairdryer and go and get myself a drink, I think, and then I can come back and look at it when it's dry. Myself a drink. I'm going to pick up my little thing. What I'm going to do is establish another, maybe very, very lightly. I'm just going to draw an horizon line there, so I can just about see it. Again, just re-emphasize my horizon line so I can just about see it. I'm going to come down to about there now, and I'm just going to do another line across there like that, just so I can see it. Because I want to try and get this separated otherwise, because it looks just like a background at the moment. You've got a little bit of depth there, but not a lot. Not a lot. So I'm just going to select, I don't know, any old brush. What have I got? There we are. This is a little just short, flat. I'm going to get my dark purple. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of black to it, because I want it quite dark. Get myself a little bit of tissue paper. And I'm going to come in. Actually, let's put a little bit of that there a minute. And I want this a little bit lighter. Just add a little bit of light to it. I just want to lighten that up. You can see it's a lovely purple actually. Okay, now here we go. So I gotta decide now. There you go. Just make it look a little bit, I don't know, maybe there's a few buildings, or I don't know what they are. This is just completely out of my mind now, because this didn't exist, so. A little bit of moisture just on the tip of my brush. Bit of headland there maybe. Yeah, bit of headland there. Let's go into this darker one now, because now I want to put a little bit of land there. It could be like don't know, it could be a bit of, maybe it's a little estuary or something, no, rather than a beach. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to break it up a bit. Could be anything, couldn't it, really? How's that look? Let me have a look. Might be interesting if I brought just get a little bit of moisture on my brush. I'm just playing now. I'm just trying to balance this off a bit. Like maybe this a bit of land. Come in there like that. Because where we were in like a bit of a cove type of thing. And I don't know if I've got any photographs to represent that, but I'll just show you really. But this could be that little cove, maybe. Could be that little cove, couldn't it? The water could be coming through a little gap there and just filling into this little beach then. It just, what it does, it just gives that little bit of depth, I think. Just gives that little bit of depth. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to grab a brush. And this is just a number 6 detail brush, going back into this dark purple. I'm going to pick up my stick and I just want to paint around my Philippe de Flop, because these are French flops. A Frenchman invented them, you know. Philippe de Flop, he did. So we need to put shadow in there like that. A little bit of concentration on my part now, so when I concentrate I tend to be very quiet. Nice. There you go. Here's my flip-flops. Okay. So they're a little bit pinky, so let's just get a little bit of this over there. and just block them out. That way then, when I put some more colour on the... Oops. When I put some more colour on this area then, I can paint, if I paint over it, it doesn't really matter, then we can just tidy that up. Loosely painting. Don't forget this little bit is just an underpainting at the moment. I'm just filling in some colour, put some shadows and things, and sort out the shape properly as we progress. But just for now, oops, I picked up the wrong colour. Just for now, just filling this in like that. There you go. A pair of flip-flops on a beach. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my filbert brush. I want to get a little bit of white on this yellow because I want to put a sun in there. A little bit more white, I think. Just catching a bit of light around there like that. How does that look? It looks quite bright, doesn't it? Let's get a bit more yellow now. Lightly brushing. A little bit of light on there. There we are. A bit of light in there. Don't forget, don't be afraid to use your finger if you have to, okay? That's the thing sometimes. There's nothing better than using your finger sometimes. getting my big size 20 brush again. Just mixing up this purpley colour. I'll have to put some more white on my palette in a minute, because I want to put some just flecks of colour in like that. Bit of red, bit of blue, cadmium red. Okay, bit of white. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that dry, or I'm going to dry it with a hairdryer, and I'm going to put a nice coat of yellow paint all over that. Hopefully it'll look nice when I do that, and then I can just work on a few more details in the foreground and my flip-flops, and it's not going to be far away. Okay, so now that's sufficiently dry, I'm going to use my famous trick of using my medium mix, which is this one. That allows the paint to be thinned as much as I want it to be, because it's got a medium mix. It's not going to affect the bonds of the paint. I'm just getting some tissue paper. I'm just going to try a corner there, because I want it a little bit yellow. So I'm just going to put a very thin glaze of yellow over the painting now. Completely over the painting, like this. You can hear Molly barking. Why I do this is because I think it adds a lovely glow to sunsets and things, and it's just something that I do. I don't know if other people do this. I don't know if other artists do this, but I tend to find that this works well for me in many paintings, and it's just one of the things that I do. You might find a thing that you do that you think, oh, can I do that? Well, if it works for you, then it is fine. Don't let people say you can't do this or you can't do that because it's wrong. There's no such thing as wrong in art. It's only what works for you. You could do this in oils as well if the painting is dry. But acrylics are wonderful, and you can see that just putting that yellow over that purple, it's just giving that a little bit of effect that I want, to bring in that warmth in. Rather than working hard, I tend to work smart. I've been working with acrylics now for a long time. I know what they're capable of. I know what they can do. I know what their limits are. But you can see it started to lift quite nicely now. I don't want to come down too far with it because I want this to stay dark down the bottom, but I still want that glow of the sky to come through. onto the area of this little beach area there, like that. I'm just going to put a bit of glow just over my flip-flops, like that. Getting a little bit of white now. Again, what I'm going to do now is just re-emphasize some of that. Light coming in like that. Picking up my little brush, my stick, because now I just want to really brighten up that sun. Okay, now let's work back onto these flip-flops, because these are going to be quite dark down here. Maybe a little bit of a shadow. Just underneath. Like that. Just take your time. Think, don't rush. Don't rush this. Just take your time and think about what you're doing and try and get it to look right. Getting a bit of shadow down in there like that. There you go. Prepare flip-flops. Now we need to put this little thing in like that, don't we? Now it's started to look a bit more like flip-flops. Washing our brush, and let's get some of this white mixed in, because we want a little bit of highlight now. Maybe a little bit lighter. Have I got enough white? Should have. Just put in a little bit of highlight just down where I think the light is going to hit. like this. Thinking all the time. Ooh. Rub that in. Didn't see that, did you? No, we didn't see that, Clive. Rub that in like that. There you go. Now, looking at this, washing that brush out very quickly. I want to get a bit of burnt umber into this purpley colour. I want to make it a little bit darker because I need to put some shadows in. Like that. I'm washing the brush because I've got too much paint on my brush, so very, very thin coat of paint now. Very, very thin coat of paint. More fluid than paint. And this is where the medium mix comes in, actually. What you'll find is that you can thin your paint down a lot better then. You don't have to worry about the paint flaking and peeling, because it won't with this medium mix I got. That's why I designed it, actually. There you go. And looking at my flop, it's got writing on it called O'Neill's. These are O'Neill's flip-flops. I got to remember to take this back into Jane, actually. So let's just put some writing on this. Like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. It looks okay. So it just looks as if there's a little bit of thing there. Now they look a little bit flat to me, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of that shadow colour. I need a bit darker than that. I'm just going to darken this section down a bit. Like that. There we are, it looks a bit better. Looks as if they're just sitting down a bit now. A little bit darker down there like that. What we could do now is get some of this lighter colour. Just put a few little flecks of purpley colour in there, like this. Now this has gone beyond the the photograph I've taken, and it's just being inspired as I paint, which is good. This is what you want to do. Sometimes you want to be able to maybe get a painting and a photograph, I mean, and just let it come to life, really. A couple of flicks like that. Okay, there's my pair of flip-flops, or Jane's flip-flops. Not exactly the same, but they'll do. On a beach in Mallorca, and I want to thank you very much for joining me in the studio today, and have a go at this. This is just done on cardboard, multicoloured, Just let it happen. Just let it happen and have fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson today. And thank you for coming along into the studio and having a look at my holiday snaps. I'm always grateful for that. So until next time, have a good day. Keep happy, healthy and terrific. And don't forget to paint away that stress of everyday life here in Wales with Clive. Please click the subscription buttons, give me a like and a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.